Hey guys, and welcome back to the Camera 64 podcast. I am your host, Alfonso Chavez, and as always, we have planes flying overhead. I apologize for that. Unfortunately, I live next to an airfield, and it is a training base here, which is Camp, I think it's Randolph. Yeah, Randolph Joint Base, which is a training base. So there's always small planes flying overhead, and they are flying really low to the ground. So that's why you can hear them even while I'm sitting inside the house. But so anyway, guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the Canon EOS R5c. Now this is a camera that is super exciting for me to look at. I've been waiting for something just like this. Now, in case you're wondering, no, I am not an 8K shooter. I will not be an 8K shooter anytime soon, but I do like the fact that it does have cooling, and also the fact that I can still use it as the classic R5, right? Just like my R6 that I picked up. Now, I have been considering buying a Canon EOS R5 just because I do want to get that megapixel jump at some point, and I think that it will also greatly improve my photography as far as creating larger prints and also being able to zoom into pictures that I've taken and cropping them exactly the way I want. Now, for me, you've heard me talk about it in the past. I still shoot a lot of stuff with my very old Canon 1D Mark III. Now this is only a 10 megapixel camera, so think about that, guys. If I'm shooting a picture at 45 megapixels and I need to crop down, gosh, that gives me tons of room to actually really zoom in. So that, in my opinion, for me, for the way that I like to work, having 45 megapixels is a huge advantage. And it also allows me to work with one lens, which is what I really like to do anyway most of the time. I very rarely switch lenses in a day, and it's kind of a weird thing because I don't really pick when I'm actually headed out. I just kind of make a decision while I'm out there, and I usually stick with it. So some of the lenses that I use, the 35 and this popular lens too for me. I mean, a lot of people may not like this lens. This is, of course, the classic 24 to 105 f4. And I will shoot that all day long, indoors, outdoors. Being that I'm a flash photographer, it's really not that big of a deal for me when it comes to aperture. So 24 to 105 works really well. But now imagine you're on an R5 and you're shooting at 105 and you're able to crop in 100%. My gosh, that's almost what, a 250 millimeter shot or angle for me at 10 megapixels, which is a file that I really enjoy to produce some of my stuff at. Some people might think I'm crazy, but hey, that's my opinion, and I really like the idea. So now having a camera that can also shoot video alongside an R5's 45 megapixels is amazing to me, guys, because now I currently shoot with two of these, which I really am not going to give up anytime too. In case you're wondering, this is a C100 Mark II, and this camera is really old at this point, but we have two of them at this, two of these that we use when people request that we shoot video for them, and I have never had a complaint. One time, I can remember only one time, I think it was last year, where we had somebody request a video in 4K. Now, as you know, these cameras do not shoot 4K. These are 1080 that have been cropped down from have been resized from 4K down to 1080. So what does that mean, guys? It means that I still get a super high quality picture, even though it's at 1080. And in that one instance, I was able to bring it up to 4K, and you couldn't tell the difference. I sat there and watched it in 1080, the original file, and then I went ahead and up-resed it to 4K, and it looked amazing on my 4K TV. I'm not gonna lie. So I went ahead and did that, and I delivered that to the customer, and guess what? They were super happy with it, guys. It was a 1080 file up-res to 4K, but they could not tell the difference, and they were really happy about it. They really loved the fact that it was 4K and it looked amazing, and they actually mentioned that to me. They were happy at how good the files looked. So guys, what am I saying? The reason I like this 4K camera, and I've tried to shoot 4K on my R6, but it does overheat, guys. You get to about 45 minutes and it will overheat. Now, what does that mean? These cameras in particular, I set these up and I forget it. So I can set this camera. I have one I'll set usually in the front. I'll have a second one that I'll set in the back of the church. And I turn these on sometimes 10-15 minutes before the actual ceremony gets underway. Now, I can do that with confidence because with a 64 gig card, basically you can shoot about 5, maybe 6 hours straight with this camera as long as your battery holds up. Now, I carry 2 batteries for each one of these cameras, and each one of those batteries will actually record 2.5, very close to 3 hours worth of content. So turning this on 15 minutes before the ceremony and letting it run, which most ceremonies will last about an hour to an hour and a half, I don't have to worry about it at all. And then I switch batteries when I get out to the hall, and guess what? I'm good to go for the entire time that we're at the hall as well. So that is fantastic. But back to this R5c, guys. This is going to allow me to be able to shoot pictures and videos. So not only can I set these up, but I'm able to shoot pictures as well as be ready for video in case the situation should call for it. And sometimes it does. There'll be times where I have my R6 on my shoulder down by my side, and they will ask me to shoot some video. Now, I can shoot short videos, but sometimes you end up in a situation where you have to record longer than 45 minutes. Now, if record longer than sometimes 20 or 30 minutes, and if you do that, then it puts you in a pickle, because if you go back to shooting pictures, there's a chance that camera can overheat at that point. And then sometimes I've been at events where it's kind of like one thing after another. So let's just say I got in a situation where I recorded on my R6 for 20 or 30 minutes, and then I'll have to go immediately into shooting pictures for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'm back at shooting some video, and it's horrible, guys. It's horrible. It hasn't happened to me yet, but having that in the back of your mind is something that you're always thinking about as a professional. The last thing you want to do is not have the camera ready or not capable of recording what it is that you need to get done. So that is why these cameras are still to this day, and these cameras are old. I don't know the exact day that they were released, but they are still fantastic cameras. They run for a long time, and that's why we continue to use these. Now, the R6 is, it's just something that absolutely I am going to consider, and I'm not going to lie to you and say that I'm considering it. I will absolutely buy this camera at some point or another. Now, the price on this, I think Canon got this way right. Way right. This should be like the #1 selling camera for Canon for the next couple of years. And if it comes down in price just like all the other cameras do at some point, because this camera when it came out was $5,000. I did not pay $5,000 for this camera. As soon as the price dropped to $2,500, I was all over it. I bought 2, right? Same thing here, but even at that price, the price point that it's at right now, guys, I'll be honest, man, it's a lot lower than what I thought it was going to be for everything that you're getting. Now, there are some capabilities where you have to have some external power sources, but again, that's not going to be me, guys. It's not going to be me. I prefer working at 10 megapixel photo files, and I prefer working at 30 megabit 1080p files. So I might shoot some 4K on it. I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure that out. My computer can handle 4K recording, but the average Joe Schmo, or whatever you want to call it, the average photographer out there is just not capable. Their computer is just not capable of shooting 4K. Let's be honest, guys. I've worked with a ton of photographers over the years, and I've been to their homes, and they've come here to my home. And let's be honest, a lot of people can have a hard time recording. Not recording, but editing even 1080p at this point. And if you're in Premiere Pro, and if you have two of these files going with an R6 file going, and in my case an SL2 file, that's 4 files, all in 1080, probably around 25 to 30 megabytes. My computer sometimes, it doesn't really mess up too bad, but you're gonna skip files every once in a while. And once you jump up to 4K, it's a huge jump, guys. It's a huge jump. If you've never shot 4K, try and edit 4 lines of 4K in Premiere Pro on your old computer. It's not happening, guys. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have to use proxies. And proxies is just adding a whole nother step, guys. I can take this video from here, stick it in there. I can run 3 lines of video, and 90% of the time it's going to be able to, my computer is going to be able to do it. And that's without making any proxies or anything, having to take extra steps to do that. And that's a huge advantage. Now, I know that using this R5c definitely is going to have bigger files, shooting at 4K and shooting at 8K, and that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you I will pick this camera up, but it's not going to be anytime soon. I can see maybe in another year or two. I'm due for a new computer next year, so we'll see at that point what can I afford to get, because you know, a really high-end computer is going to cost anywhere between $5,000 and $15,000 depending on what you want to spend, right? So that's another consideration when you're considering this R5c. Now, if I did pick up this R5c, I personally will be shooting 1080p all day long, right? I mean, I'm gonna be super honest with you, but it's just the fact that it's an R5c, and the fact that I can record video alongside those awesome 45 megapixel pictures, and I just don't absolutely have to worry about it overheating at all. Because even on my R6 right now, it's always in the back of my mind, although I haven't been shooting a whole bunch of video on my R6 because I have these cameras. I have been working in some video on it, but I just know that I don't want to push it because I don't want the camera to stop working on me. It's definitely in the back of my mind. So tell me what you guys think about the R6. Is it something that you are considering right now, or maybe you've already put in your pre-order on it? And if you have, great for you. I'm happy for you, because I would definitely like to have one. There's no doubt about that, right, guys? It's an exciting camera. It's got tons of capabilities. I'm not going to go into all the specs because all the other channels are doing that already. I'm just giving you what I think about the camera and whether or not I would enjoy having it, and I absolutely would enjoy having it. The fact that it also accepts the grip, oh man, if you haven't seen it with the grip on, it's amazing, guys. It looks like a total monster and a hell of a camera. I really look forward to owning it someday. There's no doubt in my mind that I will own this camera at some point. I could order it tomorrow, but the fact is I don't have the computer that can push it as of right now. Pushing 4K cameras right now on my current setup is just impossible, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you, because you know, a lot of photographers out there are looking at this and saying, wow, I really would like to have that. Yeah, you might, but it also includes you having to pick up new cards. It includes you having to pick up some more storage, right, where you're going to store all this stuff, and also having a much better computer to even try and edit any of this video out of it. But gosh, that's my thoughts about it, and I hope that you are enjoying the show. And if you are, please give us a thumbs up. If you're not, give me a thumbs down too. Even yell at me in the comments. I would really like somebody to just comment something, guys. It really does mean a lot, the thumbs up and the likes, and also subscribing to our channel. I know that we've gained a few followers over the past couple of weeks, and I'm extremely happy and thankful for that, and I hope to see that subscriber rate go up, so that hopefully someday at some point I can maybe get a little bit of monetization out of this channel. But till next time, guys, you take care. You have been watching the Camera 64 podcast, and I am your host, Alfonso Chavez. And till next time, keep shooting, guys. Don't be afraid. Keep trying. Don't give up on your dreams. Take care. Bye-bye.